Okay.
こんにちは。
Hello, everyone. Very happy to see you. So we're starting on something new, a topic that we haven't covered specifically before, shaped by Systema. And we have a few speakers who will share how Systema came into their life and how it shaped it. So very exciting. Very happy to talk about it. As I mentioned before, many people will be watching in recording because it's a summer weekend. Many people, unfortunately, cannot be there present, live. So it's going to be available for everyone in recording. Okay, so the first speaker we have is from Florida, a very well-known doctor and Systema instructor, David Orman. Thank you, David, for joining, and please go ahead, share your story with us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I first heard of Systema kind of at the end of 2003, 2004. I was doing Aikido for about 9 or 10 years, and one of the instructors had given me the DVDs they used to give. And honestly, I didn't really was interested because I was so focused and I had never heard of it, but I promised, I gave him my word, so I watched it. I could not believe what I saw. The movement, the power, the creativity, the flow. I must have watched that thing 30 times over the course of the weekend. And I found a teacher about 3 hours away to at least get me started, and then met Vladimir in 2004 toward the end of it. And of course, I came from the Japanese arts. Everything was very formal. Everything was very rigid, kind of stiff. You never called anybody by their first name. It was always sensei and all that stuff. And I remember wanting to introduce myself because I had never met Vladimir. And I asked somebody, what do I call him? He said, just call him by his first name. I said, are you sure that doesn't sound right? He goes, trust me. Okay. So we talked, and about 15, 20, 30 seconds into the conversation, it felt like I had known Vladimir for 5 or 10 years. And when I left the conversation, it's kind of funny now. It was very relaxed. It was very casual, informal. It was normal. And my first thought was, did I have the right person? And then we started the seminar, and Vladimir did the demonstration, and I realized, oh, I definitely have the right person. So that was my introduction. And one of the main things that I took away from that seminar, and we had talked about this on Monday, most of the other arts I had done, everything was a triangle. Hierarchy. So there was one person on top and everyone else was below, and they often let you know that everyone else was below. But in Systema, everything was a circle. You could have a person that had 30 years experience on to the right of you and another person with 30 minutes of Systema to the left of you. And we were all treated equally. And to me, there's that built-in humility and friendship with this particular art. In terms of the lessons that I learned, I think every single class, every single conversation, I learned something different. I would say in the beginning, I didn't necessarily appreciate the breath work the way I do now. And I hear people say, particularly patients, I have this problem, I have depression, I'm getting older, and there's nothing I can do about it. And after training so long at Systema, I realized there's always something you can do about it. You can breathe and you can move. You're always just one breath away from changing anything. Well, there's a great T-shirt for you. Breath comes from the ancient Greek word pneuma, which means spirit. So anytime you take a very clear and direct mindful breath, you always connect with spirit. And whenever I run into a problem, I think there's no way out of this, it's too difficult, I don't have the skill for it, just take a breath, and all of a sudden I can't do becomes everything is possible. And it feels great. And take fear, for example. One of the great challenges in life, of course, is dealing with fear. Fear causes weakness of the kidneys, which in turn weakens the skeletal system, causes low back problems, knee problems, hearing, memory, bunch of things. I don't know if you can directly take fear on, or at least all of them. At least I can't. But there is a way of dealing with it, and it's by creating courage or practicing courage. To me, fear is darkness and courage is light. The more light you can bring in, the less fear there is. And one of the ways that we do that is by taking strikes. So we stand in front of a group of people, whether it be 5 people or 105 people, and we take strikes. And it hurts, but we stand there anyway and we do it. And in Systema world, that's normal. But you talk to people outside of this our circle, and they think, "Why would you do that? You're not likely to get hit in any time in your life." And it's like, yeah, that's true, but it gives us an opportunity to practice and develop courage. And whereas I may never get hit ever outside of class, there isn't a day that goes by where I don't use courage. And to me, that's just one example of the depth of Systema. There's also great movement in Systema, but there's also great movement. There's great meaning behind the movement. Today, I see martial arts as a two-sided coin, self-defense and self-development. And so you have MMA and jujitsu, and those things are real popular, and they're great at the self-defense part of it. But to me, Systema is one of the few, and if you said only art, I wouldn't be surprised, that not only takes care of the self-defense, but also the self-development. We learn how to do punch defense, kick defense, knife defense, but we also learn how to, move properly with purpose, how to breathe properly, and how to heal. Traditionally, if you read the history of almost any martial art, you first learn how to heal before you learn how to harm. And to me, that is it really helps us become what we're capable of becoming. And I'd give an example. I had a student about a year ago, young guy, 17. He was a senior in high school, very shy, very quiet, wouldn't really interact with people. And he asked me, he said, "What's the great secret to getting good at this?" I said, "I don't know if there's a secret, but I'll pass along what I learned. 3 words: keep, just keep coming. Just keep coming to class, just keep participating." And he did. And his skill level started getting better, but he also started opening up more. He started talking with people and just fitting in real well. And about maybe a month and a half ago, his mom came to class earlier and said, "May we talk?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, sure." She said, "My son is a different person. He is much more outgoing. He's talking with me and my father. He has more friends. He has a girlfriend. He decided he wants to go to pilot school on the East Coast. He got a scholarship, all because of what you've done." And I said, "Well, I have loved the story, but I know better and I can't take the credit. The credit belongs to 3 people. Number one, to him. He kept showing up. He kept doing the work. And then the other two are Michael and Vladimir, because they developed the art and then they share the art with the public. And again, this is just one of many examples of what we're really what this art allows us to do to be what we're capable of being. And may I say to Vladimir, I could pick the perfect words and put them in the perfect order, and it doesn't even come close to how I would like to express my gratitude for not only what you've shown, but our conversations. And to Valerie, the founder of Aikido, his name is Morihei Ueshiba, and one of his famous lines is, "There would be no Aikido without Mrs. Ueshiba." And I suspect that without all the work that you do, we would not have it here in America and other countries. So again, much appreciation to you as well. And to both of you, Atse Dushe Благодарю Tibia. Thank you.
Oh, thank you,
Thanks so
Dave.
much,
What a great speech. That's ideal. That's so great. Thank you. Oh,
My pleasure.
thank you very much. Yeah, so towards the end, if you have any questions for David, that will be very welcome. Okay, so now.